At Appalachian State, we're very fortunate to be partnered with National Geographic. One of the things I'm most proud of with our partnership and being the state steward of National Geographic is that I get to do outreach with teachers across the state and also with students from K through 12 and college students and also civic groups, because geography is the thread that holds all the other disciplines together. We often ask when something happens, but the real question is, where did it happen and why? And geography can answer that question.
Geography is important because it enables people to view or understand the world around them. For example, a working definition of geography is described as those things that give character to place. And what geographers do to try and understand the world, which is especially large, is they draw lines on maps. And these lines that they draw on maps, they divide the world into regions. To understand the world, geographers, as I said, come up with regions, and the vernacular region for this part of the state and world where we live is referred to as Appalachia, or the mountain. And so if you speak with local people, or if you look at business establishments, oftentimes they'll have the name Appalachia or the mountain, or mountain in the name of the business establishment. And this is referred to as a vernacular region, which talks about the distinctiveness of this place and this region in terms of its physical environment, as well as in terms of the people who settled here and who live here now. It's especially beneficial that we have Saskia on campus in the Department of Geography and Planning. Saskia is a state steward with National Geographic, and this is a great benefit not only to Appalachian, but to the state and the wider community, because the work that the state stewards do enables us to ensure that we have geographic literacy in the state, which enables human beings to understand the world and comprehend the world in a more meaningful way, and therefore hopefully make better decisions no matter what the occupation is.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Spond, and I serve as the liaison to the National Park Service at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. I'm here to talk to you today about geography, the importance of geography in the world today, and how geographic literacy can help young people and all people learn more about the world around them. Geography is an ancient study of the planet. It dates back to antiquity. The ancient Greeks, Romans, and many other people of past civilizations have thought about geography, even if they didn't think about it in the ways that contemporary geographers often frame the subject. Very important themes within geography include location, place, region, movement, and human-environment interaction. It's sometimes said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. I would argue a map is worth 1,000,000 words. Really good maps convey tremendous amounts of information quickly and clearly. Today, you're going to be working with a map of the state of North Carolina. The map contains both political features like place names of cities, national forests, and roads, and it also contains different colored polygons that represent different classes of land. Some of them are federal properties, others are state properties.
Today we're going to do a lesson plan on apportionment and redistricting in the state of North Carolina, but this giant state map is available in every state. There's actually 2 of them in every state. So you can do this activity in your own state with students or with civic groups in your community. So what we're doing today is we're using census data from 1870, 1920, and 2010 census data to look at how human population has migrated across the state of North Carolina and what that means in terms of districting. So one of the things that we're considering with the upcoming census in 2020 is how many districts will we have in North Carolina and other states. And the reason census data is important is because every person is one vote. So currently, based on the 2010 census data in North Carolina, each district in North Carolina, we have 13 of them, but each district represents 733,000 people, 499. So what we're going to do today is look at how we distribute these districts and how it's subjective depending on who's drawing those districts. So first we're going to get started with our students here from Appalachian State, and we're going to look at how population has shifted in North Carolina starting in 1870. All right, you guys, let's go. Can someone put a plate on Wilmington, North Carolina? Wilmington is one of our top 10 cities according to the 1870 census. And next is Raleigh with 7,790 people, then New Bern, then Fayetteville, then Charlotte with 4,473 people. Next is Beaufort, and Abby and Kay, I'm going to have you guys come over and locate Beaufort because it's not labeled on the map. So we are going to go at 34.7 degrees north to 76.7 degrees west, and where your feet touch is where we're going to put down a plate to represent 2,430 people in the year 1870 in Beaufort, North Carolina. Perfect. All right, who wants to put a plate on Washington? 2,094 people. Next is Asheville. And our last two, we're going to need Abby and Kay again to find those because they're not labeled on the map. 35.9 degrees north, 76.7 degrees west. You guys meet up your feet and put down a plate, and that's Plymouth, North Carolina. And then the last place is 35.9 degrees north again, but 77.5 degrees west. Keep going, Kay, yay. And then where your feet meet up, that's Tarboro. And that's 1,340 people in 1870. Perfect. So what we're seeing in 1870 across North Carolina is that most people are living in the eastern part of the state. So then the next question is, how would you create districts when the population is distributed this way? So Kay and Abby, do you want to grab the chain? And what you guys will do is walk across the map and decide how you would divide the state of North Carolina in half. And there's no right or wrong answer, but you want to make sure that the population's also cut in half, right?
So maybe diagonal.
Yeah. And you may have to move the chain over Raleigh to get 5 and 5, right?
Yeah.
So one of you will have to.
You want me to move?
Uh-oh, we lost Raleigh. Go ahead. And this is how subjective redistricting can be. How do we divide our state in half? How do we divide our state into 4s? How do we end up dividing our state into 13 different districts based on population? So we put down our blue plates to represent the 1870 census data, and we put down orange cones to represent the 1920 census data. But now we're moving on to the final stage of looking at the cities that have the highest population numbers in 2010 from that census data. So we're going to have the students put the final green cones on top of the other census data points and look at how the populations have shifted across North Carolina. Okay, Charlotte. Now we have 731,000 people in Charlotte. Okay, Raleigh, 403,000 people. Greensboro. Winston-Salem, 229,000 people. Durham, 228,000 people. There you go. Fayetteville, 200,000 people. Nice job. Wilmington, 106,000 people. High Point, 104,000 people. Greenville, 84,000. Good job. Asheville, 83,000. So we finished our mapping exercise, and we have the shifts in population across North Carolina between 1870, 1920, and 2010. And North Carolina has grown in population from 1 million people to over 9,500,000 people. And like I said earlier, we're projected to only grow even more, especially in Mecklenburg and Wake counties. So how are we going to redraw those districts? And this is what every state has to struggle with. Because again, what we're looking for with the census data is to make sure we count everybody and that one person equals one vote. So that's why it's so important for everyone to participate in the census. But a lot of people don't understand how redistricting works. And usually that's because it's not an open process. Some states have a more open process than others, but it can be challenging because we can separate districts based on political boundaries and also racial boundaries. And some people's voices are suppressed because of how we draw the districts. So currently in North Carolina and Maryland, both cases have gone to the Supreme Court on March 27th, arguing that gerrymandering is occurring and that the lines of the districts are drawn according to political parties, not where people live in their communities. And drawing districts is hard because you don't want to separate people in cities. You want to keep communities together. You also want to keep entire counties in one district, and you can't go across physical landforms like rivers and other kind of features where there's natural separations in the geography. So how do you draw districts that are fair? How do you draw districts that are legal and keep communities together? And that's the big challenge after the 2020 census.
Hello, my name is Kay Kelly Jr. I'm currently a senior here at Appalachian State University. I'm double majoring in geography and community and regional planning, and then I'm getting my certificate in geographic information systems. And I'm also from Durham, North Carolina. So today's activity, I think, is a really good understanding or a look at what geography in place really means. So when we think about geography in place, I think a lot of times people like to think about, okay, when we say geography, we're looking at the 50 states and memorizing the capitals of each of those states. Though that is a good foundation for understanding what geography is, I think we should challenge people to actually take a step forward and really think about, okay, what does my presence in this space take up? So when we think about being a part of a city or a town, what resources do I have access to? How do I use those, and how do we connect that to something else, someone else, or somewhere else? So when we really think about geography in place, it's really good to challenge our students and also folks inside of the profession to think of it that way as well too.
My name is Abby Bonnevak, and I'm a graduate student here at Appalachian State University. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and have fallen in love with the mountains here in Boone, North Carolina. I'm a graduate student, so I actually also completed my undergraduate degrees here at Appalachian State University. I received a geography and GIS degree, as well as a community and regional planning degree. This has propelled me to take geography classes throughout my time and allowed me to become a geography graduate student here. I have absolutely loved my time, and learning about maps is something that's very important in our society. In a globalization and interconnected world, everyone can talk to everyone, but knowing and understanding people and places, as well as their cultures and their environments, are very important, and is something we should really look forward to in the future. Doing activities like this giant map, it's a great opportunity for us to show children how important maps are in our future. And this is really important because geography isn't often included in education in the elementary level anymore. And so this is a great way to get students from around North Carolina, as well as the United States, to participate in geography, something that is helping us to be more connected than ever.
If you want to learn more about geography, contact me, Saskia Vandegevel, in the Department of Geography and Planning at Appalachian State University, and I'm happy to bring out the giant map to you or get one of our great educators in the state to bring the map to you as well. We have 3 copies of the map in our state, and other states have at least 2. So please get your hands on a giant map. Please ask your state steward any questions you have related to geography, and we're happy to help you. The other thing I want to say is that if you have any other questions related to this project and gerrymandering, please go online and search for geocivics. You can find all of the teaching resources you need to use the giant map, the online ArcGIS activity, and any other civics information, and it's all housed per state, searchable on GeoCivics. Thank you.